Hi, and welcome to the SEO podcast, Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. Got to get my arm in here. My name is Chris Burris, owner of eWebStyle.
I am Charles Lewis, your Internet Marketing Specialist.
Welcome to another fun-filled edition of our most popular SEO podcast on iTunes. That is because of you
right there who just tuned in, who just started listening. Thank you.
All out there. As always, there is a tip from our previous podcast, and this tip says, GWMT is a must for anyone building and managing a website.
Yeah, GWMT, Google Webmaster Tools, is a must. If you are building a site, especially if you're doing SEO on the site, anything like that, make sure you submit that site to Google Webmaster Tools. It's just a must. If your site gets hacked, they'll let you know. If they're banning you because you have bad links, they'll let you know. And all sorts of other things. If your site's doing well, they'll let you know. So definitely make sure you sync your account with Webmaster Tools and Analytics for that matter. And they work well together. And go ahead and do Bing Webmaster Tools as well.
Woo-hoo. Please remember, we are your friendly local neighborhood top position snatchers,
Yes.
where our mantra is
Don't be a douche. You know what? I like our mantra. Every time somebody complains about it, I like it more.
even more, right? Yeah, our mantra is don't be a douche. Please remember, if you have some sort of device that enables you to make contact with the internet sphere, with the World Wide Webs, go ahead. With the internets, then go ahead and tweet us.
Yeah, hashtag is right up above here. I only got to show y'all. Hashtag
Boom.
SEO podcast.
Boom.
This is number 203. Yes, 203.
203.
Make sure you tag us in it at eWebStyle. That way we can link up and be social and do all of our social stuff.
You know, I was looking at that 203, and I was like, oh, somebody left off a 1. 2013. It's just like your brain thinks with 203, 2013. Yeah. Hey, there's two small favors that you could possibly do for us. One of them has 3 steps. If you like this podcast, if you think the audio value has increased, if you're just a really nice guy or gal, go onto iTunes, create an account, write a review, and if you choose to, you can contact us and let us know that you did write a review, and you do that by writing an email to podcast@e-webstyle.com. I'm sure there are 100 easier ways to say that than the way I just said it. An example of an iTunes review that you could submit, this one is by T-Pain 1000.
T-Pain 1000? I'll take it.
Title says, entertaining and informative, 5 stars. And the review says, what's in the title is all I have to say. Now punch me in the face. I don't know, T-Pain. I don't know if T-Pain is a name. I don't know if I want to punch somebody named T-Pain.
T-Pain. T-Pain is a singer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he uses the auto-tune.
Oh, okay.
So you would be something like, thank you for your review. If that was an auto-tune voice, you know.
I like that. Thank you for your review.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it would have to go something like that. So.
The other thing that you could do, again, if you like the audio, like that the audio is improved, like the content, like the humor, like the fact that we're the Red Bull of SEO podcasts, you can actually legally listen to our podcast and drive at the same time without fear of falling asleep. You could write us a G+ local review. We've made it really easy for you to do that. All you have to do is go to the following URL, e-webstyle.com/
G+
or
G+
or
Google+
or
Google+.
And while you're there, you could write us a review similar to this one. Jonathan Brown wrote, great podcast. I always learn something from each podcast. There have been, 5 stars. There have been some audio issues, but I can get past that for the great content. Plus, they are fun and entertaining.
Infotainment, fun and entertaining. Punching the U, what was that?
Jonathan Brown.
JB, appreciate you tuning in.
All right, here we go. This is from our Facebook page.
These are questions.
Yep.
Okay.
This is a question. All right, put your question answering hat on, sir. Please. Thank you. Renee Fish Robbins says, howdy guys, you rock.
We know, but appreciate it.
Thank you. And she's like, now that I have your attention, does have an accent in it, so Renee could be a dude, possibly. Like that's a possibility.
Yeah,
so I just want to leave that open.
All right.
Now that I have your attention, do you happen to know a Twitter keyword search tool that provides insights and data like hashtags.org that isn't hella expensive? I don't know how he got that text in there, so I knew to articulate it that way. It's pretty good writing. Like hashtags.org. Keep up the good work. Did you know of any? I did a little research on this one.
You did?
I put on my answering questions hat.
Yeah, I mean, because I usually use Twitter, especially now that they've evolved the tool. They've improved their search. They opened up global search, and it's pulling hashtags, it's pulling followers and tweets that have any reference of that phrase that you used in the hashtag without the hashtag or not. And it's been pretty intuitive for me. But to answer your question, I don't. I'm glad you did some research.
I found a couple that looked pretty decent. I didn't spend too much time with them, so let us know. One is hashtracking.com, and again, these did not seem to be expensive. And the other one was tweetbinder.com. Hashtracking.com and tweetbinder.com. All right, I'm missing anything off of our list?
I would be willing to bet that you could probably Google it, Twitter space hashtag whatever your search query is, and likely get Twitter results. Maybe even Twitter colon.
Some of the stuff I think that I looked at hashtags.org, hashtracking.com, tweetbinder, and some of the things.
I have heard of tweetbinder. Now I think about it.
Some of the things that it shows are like trending, right? So what's going on with the hashtag SEO wrapper, right? So did it peak because you did a show with HubSpot or whatever it is, so you can follow those trends? Is it on the rise? Is it on the decline? Okay. So I think those are the kinds of things that they're looking kind of more trend related as opposed to just what's going on right now. So,
gotcha.
All right. So this next one is also a Facebook question. Jeff Guest says, "Hi, Chris and Charles. Hope you are both well." Thank you. We are.
We're doing pretty good.
I have a question, and you are the only guys I can think of that might have an answer. A friend recently booked and paid for a holiday online. Sites available on request. If we requested.
If we wanted to know.
However, the site's emails were diverted to another address. Who answered inquiries, sent booking forms.
Emails were diverted to okay, I'm with you.
Right, and they answered inquiries, sent booking forms, and took deposits, pretending to be the venue's owner. Obviously, the money is now gone. There is no holiday booking. The question is either the website hosting company, the website designer webmaster, or the site's owner accountable legally for alleged lax security? Could they be sued because the site has been hacked? Thanks for your time and keep up the great work. So this is a little outside of our kind of purvey. What I would suggest is that if somebody's getting it's kind of like if somebody got something out of the mail, say you sent an actual piece of snail mail to a particular travel agency, and they were able to actually get the snail mail before the actual travel agency and be responding that way. I don't think that's anything that the agency is responsible for. That's what I would say.
I think your problem, I didn't quite understand the whole email diversion part. Was that emails from the site that you purchased that were coming to you that were somehow diverted to somebody different? Or was that the emails from the site to a different email address that was supposed to come to you? A little convoluted there. But by logic and gut tells me your problem is probably right there.
Yeah, I think it's possible. My guess would be that the emails were actually Gmail accounts or something that maybe looked like the actual agency. We don't know that detail, so in that situation, you just got to be really careful.
Yeah.
Probably worth picking up the phone in those situations if you're sending any sort of payment to anybody and you have doubts. The other thing you could do is use Amex, because Amex says, you get your money back. They have a lot of protections in place. All right, so that's all of that. I do have just a little bit of news. I thought this was hilarious. This news actually pertains to search. Stephen Colbert was talking. He was doing a little snippet about this whole NSA security, monitoring the public. And it had an interesting piece where he actually had a speech by Obama saying, there is no monitoring program, and then days later, we are forming a committee to look into the possible mishandling that the agency that didn't exist actually did. It's NSA, it's national security, and that's not actually that surprising.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just funny.
We watch movies, you know what I'm saying?
So Colbert was saying, so the question that remains is, how much information does the NSA have on us? Do they have like Facebook amount of information, or do they have like G+, because no one uses it?
That funny.
I thought that was awesome.
That's
What
funny.
level of information on us
Yeah.
do they have? Facebook or G+. All right, the Jobs movie is out, and it has a 25 out of 100 rating on Rotten Tomato. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I read.
I think I'm looking forward to seeing it as well. I like Ashton Kutcher as
Yeah,
an actor.
he's
You know, I
cool
think he
dude.
could pull that role off. But you know, at the end of the day, is it going to live up to The Social Network?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Oh,
the
yeah,
question.
yeah.
Because that was an awesome movie. I think they did a great job of portraying Facebook and how it came to be.
Yep.
And so, you know, Apple has a great story,
Yeah.
right? And so, true nothing to something story.
Yeah.
And so, you know, hopefully they can pull it off.
Nothing to something to on its way to nothing and back
Man.
up to the biggest company on the planet. I mean, it's a great story. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure I will enjoy it. I actually saw Ashton in an interview with, I think, Conan O'Brien. Maybe it was Jimmy Fallon. Anyway, it was a good interview. He's a cool cat. I like Ashton. We go way back. And finally, I posted this on my Facebook page. I'll probably add it to our Facebook, to the company Facebook page. I actually was on a corner at a stoplight today, and I saw a chick holding a sign, and she had kind of some camo pants or whatever, kind of Bob Marley-ish, right? If you get what I'm saying. And she was holding a sign, and she actually had I think it was a newsman cameraman or something right there on her, because it was one of those big fancy cameras. It wasn't a dude with an iPhone.
Or a little handy cam.
That was me taking a picture of her from my car. And the sign said, "Will rap for weed." I have to imagine that she was fairly unsuccessful in securing any weed, since she was actually on the corner asking
two
for
busy
it.
streets with the camera. Like, who's gonna just be like, "Here you go"?
I don't even care how good your rap is. I just can't pay you right now. And I'm not even saying in front of the camera that I'll ever pay you.
Yeah.
And here's my card.
yeah. Call me later.
All right, so that is the potatoes of our podcast. Let's get to the meat.
All right, so today's meet, I really wanted to talk about on-page optimization. I have been actually thinking about doing some more content about on-page for a few weeks now. And then I came across this article by Rand Fishkin, great dude. He posted this on Moz.com, the visual guide to keyword targeting for on-page optimization. And it's a very lengthy article. So first off, Rand, if you see this, kudos to you for taking that time to really put some data and some good information into an article and not focusing on keeping it short and
Right.
simple, right? It took several scrolls and several infographics and images and charts and really good data. It's like probably 1,500 words. Great article. So those kudos to you. Punch in the face. But with that, I'm about to go through your article. So one
Now
of the
let's break it down.
yeah, exactly. So the first thing he said was in regards to the content and keywords, it should be uniquely valuable, and I totally agree. You know, he added the word valuable. We've always said that content must be unique, right? It must be fresh, must be different and not duplicate. But he said uniquely valuable, and I totally agree with that. Long gone are the days where it can just be unique. This content must provide some sort of value. It needs to be useful. You know, what takeaways can the visitor who's absorbing that content, what can they pull from it? What value can they get from this content? Or will they just read it and it's just another opinion about some topic that they're researching? No, you want people to come to your site, absorb your content, and leave feeling like they've gotten something, because that will prompt them to share it and do other things. So uniquely valuable. Number two, your site must provide a phenomenal UX. That's a user experience. And again, we're talking about on-page optimization. So site should be easy to understand. It should provide intuitive navigation, meaning, you know, make it easy to get around your site. You know, people shouldn't be restricted to, let's say, one navigation. Leave breadcrumbs, maybe give them a footer nav, drop down menus if you have to. Things like that help people navigate freely through the site easily. Cross-linking and
shorten
things
that
like
by
that.
saying "throughly."
Truly, yeah. So give people a great user experience, right? Number three, which is kind of key here, make sure your site is crawler and bot accessible. You know, a lot of times you use different plugins or whatnot to automatically generate a robots text file and things like that. And you may be trying to prevent certain pages from being shown. Like, for example, we have a process where we will deny access to /WP, things like that don't really have any content, right? Just WordPress folders and things like that.
Right.
But when done incorrectly, you could be blocking your whole site
Yep.
from being indexed. And so make sure you're not doing that. Make sure that your robots text file is configured correctly so all bots can access it as easily as possible. So the next one is keyword targeted, which is key, right? Keywords have to be in the content at the end of the day. And so he went on to list, 7 crucial things about on-page optimization in regards to keywords. And most of these haven't changed, so we'll breeze through them. Number 1, your page title must have your important key phrases in it. That's worth repeating. Your page title must have your important key phrases in it. Number 2, he put headline. We call them headers, H1s, H2s, all the way through H6. These subheadings are important for a couple reasons, which he didn't talk about, so I'll discuss with you. It's kind of like reading a newspaper.
Yeah.
Your newspaper has one heading, and then you have some content, and then you have subheadings that kind of outline or dictate what the next section of content you're about to read is all about.
Yep.
And so use those for the user experience we were talking about earlier. Let people maybe want to skip down to what they came to look for. And from a search perspective, headers are important, and you should have keywords there.
It's kind of like you're trying to read the newspaper and you want to finish the newspaper before your cup of coffee gets cold, because your time frame says as soon as the coffee's cold, you have to leave. So you got to read what you can read that's going to be valuable to you really quickly. What do?
You scan and you
find
look for
out
headers.
where the sections that are clearly going to be valuable to you are, and you find those by reading the headers.
The headers, yeah. So definitely make sure you have keyword-rich headers. But more important, it's a fine line, because you want them to be keyword-rich, but you really want them to also discuss what this next block of content is about. I've been to sites that have been over-optimized, where this header says one thing and the content below it is nothing to do with the header or what's on the page itself. Yeah, exactly. So make sure your headings
I think that's called
walk that line.
being a douche.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
I felt very douchey. No, I didn't. That didn't sound right. I did not feel
felt
very
like I had
douchey.
been douched.
No, I don't like that one
doesn't
either.
feel right.
Yeah.
No.
Long story short, don't do it. That way you won't feel like that. Number 3, your body text, right? So make sure you have the content of your keywords in that text. And we talk about it all the time, making sure that the content reads well. Again, we're writing for the user. And so you want to make sure that you have those keywords to satisfy the search engine. But at the end of the day, the search engine isn't going to pick up the phone and call you. The user is. And so you need to make sure your content is talking to them. Chris always says, use a story when you can.
Yeah.
People relate to stories. And especially if you can lace your story with the right keywords and it makes sense, then you're probably doing a pretty good job.
It's like our audience is going to remember the cup of coffee that's getting cold, so you have to leave what parts of the newspaper I'm going to read.
Exactly.
Also because I've said it twice now.
It's called reiteration. So number 4, the URL. Have your keywords in the URL. Now let me take this time to say this, which he didn't mention. We're not talking about necessarily the domain name, which is also part of the URL, right? We're talking about the string after that domain name.
Yep.
Don't go chasing some keyword-rich exact match domain unless that's your company name. If that's your company name, then
You made a good decision.
Then you made a great decision for your company name. But if your company name is not Houston Water Heater Repair, then don't go get that domain name, because it's not going to work. But in regards to the URL, you want to make sure that that you do have keywords in there and a few other URL basics. Like, don't make it extremely long. Don't have it more than 5 or 6 words. Use hyphens instead of underscores, things like that. Number 5, images and image alt attributes. Yeah, don't, continue to tag your images. That's not a lost art.
Yeah.
That's one of those old things that still works.
Yep.
Tagging your images. And
title, name the image.
Name
Not
the
title
image.
it, but name the
Yeah.
image properly.
Well, yeah, it's called an image title.
Yeah.
Give it an image title. Give it the alt tag as well. And depending on your CMS, like if you're in WordPress,
It's got
WordPress
a
will
title in addition to the
title,
name
a tag,
and,
and they'll allow you to give it a description and a caption.
yeah.
Like do all of those.
Yep.
Take advantage of it.
Thank you, WordPress.
Yeah, appreciate you, WordPress. Punch in the face to WordPress. Number 6, internal and external links. So I guess we could talk about that here. Internal links are great, right? You give people the option to navigate through the page easier. Google loves them. They help your site get crawled better. Internal links are just awesome, right? External links are necessary. External links come in two ways, right? Into your site from another site, that's an external link, or out from your site to another site,
Yep.
which is also an external link. Have to be careful with those, right? Long gone are the days of just I read a post earlier that said remove it said remove backlinking from your vocabulary.
Okay.
And so I didn't agree with it per se, but I got the point he was making. And you have to be careful with the sites that are linking back to you. You know, link building. That's what it said. Yeah, remove link building from your vocab.
Well, no. Yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great title of something in order to
It
get
made me
attention.
click.
Yeah.
You know, made me click and read it, and I got the concept of what he's saying. Link building is so, like, Google is targeting. Penguin was strictly targeting links.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you're going through some old processes of getting just as many links as fast as you can from as many sites as you can, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
But external linking to your site is good from proper sources. And external linking out from your site could be even better depending on where you're linking to. For example, if this was, you know, Houston water heater repair, why not have an outbound link on that page to some water heater manufacturer who you sell? That's a great link to have outbound.
Yep. Or to details of the largest water heater on the planet.
Or yeah,
right?
something like that.
Something that is relevant and hopefully not competitive.
Exactly.
Although that's debatable.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's going to give value. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about providing a good experience to the
For the
Google
user.
user. And when you reach the end of the internet, it's not a good experience. So your web pages really shouldn't end, and they shouldn't just point to your own site.
Yeah, you should be sharing
Yeah.
and linking. Number 7, meta description. Now this is cool here because the description is not really used in, let's say, in Google's ranking algorithm. They don't necessarily pull that data from there to rank you higher.
Right.
But they do use that information to display it on the search engine results page.
Often,
And so,
yeah.
often. Unless you have some crazy description that's not suitable, or you have some graph set up, knowledge graph, open graph, whatnot, and that information is being pulled from somewhere else. But if you don't have that, then your meta description is likely to show. So take advantage of that. You know, one of the things we've said years ago was that's your first opportunity to start selling.
For SEO, yeah.
Yeah, I would include a CTA in there if you can, something subtle, you know, that ties into the keyword they're looking for, that also ties into what you're offering. So take advantage of that description. And that was it. Oh, no, that's not it. Oh, the last one.
You did say it was a long article.
Yeah, it was a long article.
Keep scrolling.
So make sure your site is built to be shared through social networks.
Yeah.
This is extremely key now. You know, because if people go through this long content and they absorb it and they find it valuable, which is point number 1, then they will likely share it.
Well, especially if
you
you
give them the option.
remind them that,
That they
they
should
liked
share
it, they should share it.
hmm And so make it, tweet this article available, share this on
Yeah.
Facebook or G+, make those links available and easy to be done with one click. Again, if you're using WordPress, then WordPress makes this extremely easy to add these plugins in. So take advantage of that. I like this one, multi-device ready. Check how your site views.
Yep.
Right? It may not view the same on, let's say, a phone or on a tablet and a desktop, and that's okay that it doesn't view the same, but as long as that user can still get the same experience across devices is what's key here. Frankly, it shouldn't look the same because you're on a smaller screen, smaller real estate and things like that. But the experience should be the same. I should still find exactly what I'm looking for in relatively few clicks, and the content should be valuable. And so as long as people can have that experience, regardless of what type of device or platform they're on, then you're doing pretty good. So make sure your content and your site, we're talking on-page optimization, is multi-device friendly. Last one, inclusive of authorship, metadata, schema, and rich snippets. I'm talking about all four of those real quick. These are must-haves now, right? Starting with authorship, still kind of new, about a year and a half in now. This is extremely important, especially if you're creating valuable, unique content. First off, you want to be the author of that content. You want Google to know that you wrote that. And so authorship is the way to do that. Furthermore, SERP results that have authorship set up get clicked more. So set that up. Metadata. We just talked metadata. Some of it's not really used in ranking, but it's good for display. And so take advantage of metadata. Make sure you have that stuff set up. Schema. Schema is kind of an advanced markup, if you will, to help search engines recognize what this content is really about. Take the time to do that. If you're using WordPress, Yoast does a great job of implementing some schema markup for you. So do that. And lastly, rich snippets. You must have a good media on your site, images, videos, things like that, citations and things of that nature. Use them. Make sure that they're accessible. Make sure that the people who are viewing your site can see them. And last but not least, make sure that the search engines can index them when they're on your site. That's where the value is. So authorship, metadata, schema, and rich snippets are key. Maybe a couple of years ago, you could have went without schema and rich snippets and still ranked fairly well.
Right.
By just having your page optimization done right. Not no more.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to keep up with the time. So set all that up. And those were some techniques for on-page optimization.
Cool. Do we have any blank stare today?
A little blank stare.
A little blank stare. Again, it's supposed to be called what?
Yeah.
Do I have to make the noise while we're blank staring?
Can you do that?
I think. What?
So this what goes to the COO of BlackBerry. So they're talking about what they can do because they have a new OS coming out and new phones and this and that.
Right.
And they're still on the fence in regards to creating some partnerships or whatnot. And then he comes out and he says, but everything's not off the table, including selling the company.
Wow, that's great for customer loyalty, and that's genius. Yeah.
So,
how do we get more people to flock away from BlackBerry devices?
And not even the people. I started thinking about the employees.
Yeah.
So we get this straight. I just really worked really hard on a new OS, but we may just sell it. Okay, so
resume.
Yeah.
What are we doing today? Listening to CEO, selling the company, working on resume.
Yeah, hoping Android is hiring.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's good. All right, so remember, we do have a referral program. We haven't covered that yet. And we also have a newsletter sign up for those of you who have not signed up. So for those of you who haven't bothered to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, G plus one us, or G plus one us, or plus G us.
All that.
Here, now you can go to our website.
Put us in your circle, all that.
e-webstyle.com, and on the right, near the middle-ish area, there's actually a newsletter form to fill out, first name, last name, email, and you can start receiving our newsletter. We got a lot of really good information in our newsletter, so make sure you do that, please. Yes. I think that's it. I think that's everything we have. And you guys have a good weekend. Back at you. And you guys have made us the most popular internet marketing podcast on iTunes. That makes us proud, happy, and honored. Yeah, that's good.
Can I pose a question?
Yeah.
Question. So me and Chris were debating on a consistent timing for the podcast.
Yeah.
So some of you guys who've been following us for a while know that probably 0 through 140 maybe we're done consistently in the mornings, Friday mornings around 9:30 Central Time.
Right.
But we've noticed we tend to get a little bit more activity when we do them in the afternoons. And then frankly, schedule permits them to be done in the afternoons on some occasions.
Right.
So I want to pose this question to you guys. Hit us up, podcast@e-webstyle.com. For those who are current and those who may watch it, what's your time preference? Would you like to sit down in the morning while having coffee and watch it, or in the evening and having maybe a different type of beverage?
Or noon, eating lunch, 12:30ish.
Exactly.
And remember Central Standard Time, or at least just let us know what time frame, what time zone you're talking about when you give us a time frame.
Feedback. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you guys again for making us the most popular internet marketing and SEO podcast on iTunes. Until the next podcast, my name is Chris Burres.
Charles Lewis.
Bye bye for now.
All right. Man.